Madhava, sadhus, grananti, find, kechit, some, no, not, bhavadrisha, like you, Dvija, O twice born, gunan, qualities, cha, and falgun, small, bahuli, karishnava, greatly magnifies, mahattama, the greatest persons, teshu, among them, Abhidat, find, bhavan, you, agam, the fault. Translation: twice born Daksha, a man like you, simply find fault in the qualities of others. Lord Shiva, however, not only finds fault in others' qualities, finds no faults in others' qualities, but if someone has a little good quality, he magnifies it greatly. Unfortunately, you have found fault with such a great soul. Purport. King Daksha is addressed here by his daughter Sati as Dvija, twice born. Twice born refers to the higher classes of men, namely the Brahmanas, Kshatriyas, and Vaishyas. In other words, a Dvija is not an ordinary man, but one who has studied the Vedic literature from a spiritual master and can discriminate between good and bad. Therefore, it is supposed that he understands logic and philosophy. Sati, Daksha's daughter, put before him sound arguments. There are some highly qualified persons who accept only the good qualities of others. Just as a bee is always interested in the honey in the flower and does not consider the thorns and colors, highly qualified persons who are uncommon accept only the good qualities of others, not considering their bad qualities, whereas the common man can judge what good qualities and what are the bad qualities. Among the uncommonly good souls, there are still gradations. The best good soul is one who accepts an insignificant asset of a person and magnifies that good quality. Lord Shiva is also called Ashutosh, which refers to one who is satisfied very easily and who offers to any person the highest level of benediction. For example, once a devotee of Lord Shiva wanted the benediction that whenever he touched someone on the head, that person's head would at once be separated from his trunk. Lord Shiva agreed. Although the benediction asked was not very commendable because the devotee wanted to kill his enemy, Lord Shiva considered the devotee's good quality in worshipping and satisfying him and granted the benediction. Thus, Lord Shiva accepted his bad qualities as magnificently good qualities. But Sati accused her father, "You are just the opposite. Although Lord Shiva has so many good qualities and no bad qualities at all, you have accepted him as bad and found fault with him. Because of your accepting his good qualities be bad, instead of your becoming the most exalted soul, you have become the most fallen. A man becomes the greatest soul by accepting the goodness of others' qualities, but by unnecessarily considering others' good qualities to be bad. You have become the lowest of the fallen souls. Hare Krishna. We will chant the Mangalacharan prayers. If you know it, please chant alongside with me. Om Ajnantamarandasya Jnananjana Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savdutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhan Vitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishnabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Manchakalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya eva cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Presthaya Bhutale Shrimate Bhaktivedant Swamin Niti Mine. Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Desha Tarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasati Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna. So, dear devotees, third canto, continuing into the fourth canto, talks about the whole fiasco of Daksha insulting Lord Shiva and Lord Shiva's instructions to his wife that when he has the other yajna, not to participate, but she insists on going there. And again, there's a repeat of the same. He's very insulting, Daksha of Lord Shiva, very envious nature, in spite of being a Prajapati, a very high post. So, what is it that we could understand from this? So, one is what we find is that from this pulpit, we can understand who a Vaishnav is. Of course, Vaishnav, we think, someone who has put this tilak or is wearing the dhoti kurta and, maybe having a shawl over here and kantimala or a shikha behind. These are all the externals. But actually, a Vaishnav is a state of consciousness. And a state of consciousness is what one thinks himself to be and how he considers the other persons. So, what Srila Prabhupada has written in the purport is highly qualified persons are who are uncommon. They accept only the good qualities of others, not considering their bad qualities. Now, one very significant point that I'd like to make here is how Srila Prabhupada taught by his personal examples. He lived the very words that he preached. When 26 Second Avenue Matchless Gifts was new, the Hare Krishna movement was still in its infancy, and a lot of the hippies and all the people whom society had rejected would come and listen to Srila Prabhupada. And outside, those of you who have been to 26 Second Avenue, it has a glass front, a large glass window. There used to be a homeless man, very dirty clothes, intoxicated, smelling. Um, he used to be standing outside watching Srila Prabhupada um, give discourses. And he had been observing for a long, long time. Then one day, in the middle of the class, he enters in, and all he enters in is with a toilet roll. And he walks towards Prabhupada to offer him the toilet roll. Now, this is kind of, if you look at it from an etiquette perspective, not the right thing to do. However, Prabhupada directed him to the restroom and then he placed the toilet over there. Prabhupada told him, "Thank you very much," and he left. So, from here, what we can understand is how Prabhupada, he did not see his externals, that he is a um, dirty in his appearances. He is reeking of alcohol. He is even presented a gift which cannot even be used because the Vedic way is you don't use paper, you use water to clean yourself. But what Prabhupada saw is this person had some feelings for Prabhupada and he's offering a gift to what he thinks is the gift. So Prabhupada saw that. He had stopped his lecture. In fact, he even came in the middle of the class. He stopped the lecture and he thanked him very much. So there is an instruction. What he writes in his purport, Prabhupada actually shows us, and that's why he's Acharya. There is prachar, very easy to do prachar, very easy to quote Sanskrit verses, very easy to give excellent classes. Um, However, to live, there's another pastime. A disciple came to Prabhupada and says, "Oh, Prabhupada, such and such person, another disciple, has memorized the whole Bhagavad Gita and he can recite it in about 40, 45 minutes." Prabhupada says, "Good. Now let him live the Bhagavad Gita for 4 minutes." So, what the understanding and lessons that we can learn from this is that whatever we hear, it is very important that we try to put it into practice. And when we put it into practice, it's not just whimsically, but under the guidance of the spiritual master and, of course, the Vaishnava Sangha. Hare Krishna. So over here, it is talking about Ninda, the fault finding. All of us have the tendency, and sometimes the more we learn, knowledge that we get, the more discriminating we become. I won't say discriminating, the judgmental we become. We become very judgmental of others. And then we start, oh, this guy is a karmi, this, that. We start putting people in pigeonholes of what we think is how the world should be. So this is what is the tendency, and we keep finding faults in this one and that one, whatever it be. There are so many faults. Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Maharaj has given a solution to this fault finding. He has said, I'll try to paraphrase it. I may not remember the exact wordings, but the essence will be conveyed is when the faults in others delude you, you get baffled. My God, so many faults is what I'm saying. This is supposed to be a devotional sangha, but yet, people are behaving like karmis and politics and this, that, whatever it be that case. So when the faults in others delude you, stop, introspect, look within, find faults with yourself. No one can harm you if you don't harm yourself. Such a wonderful instruction. So whenever that tendency comes up, and it could be something very mundane, someone may not be able to chant a shloka properly, immediately the mind will latch on to that particular thing. But rather than doing that, we should stop and see, how well. Okay, we may also be an expert in the Sanskrit. We may be Sanskrit scholars and we can speak Sanskrit and recite Sanskrit specially perfectly. But still, are we living whatever is the shlokas that we are reciting? Where are we falling short? As long as we find internally where we are falling short, that's where progress actually happens. And when we find faults with others, that hurts Krishna. It hurts us more than whatever the person we are finding faults with, and it hurts Krishna. My Gurudev Radhana Swami has given an example. He says there's a father and he has two sons who are massaging him. One is on one leg, the other is on the other leg. So, what the other son is doing, who's on the left side, he goes and pinches the father on his right leg, and the father goes, "Ow." He hopes that the father will think that this person has um, uh, pinched him. Then the other person is the other brother. He goes and punches the left leg. Again, the father says, "Ow." And this way, they're both trying to put the other brother in uh, harm, so that the person falls in his father's eye. But for the father, it hurts him so much. It doesn't matter who. So, similarly, the instruction here is when we go and we complain, we do ninda about others, it hurts the spiritual master with our God family or whatever it is. But the same thing when we glorify somebody, and glorification is there is this tendency to do lip service glorification because it's the done thing. It is politically correct. Oh Prabhu, I'm simply the dust of your lotus feet, and this insignificant dust at your lotus feet. There's a dear friend of mine, and he used to have this, he used to always be quoting, oh, I'm so useless and this, that. And one day he comes and says that, Prabhu, uh, without the dust of your lotus feet, there is no chance for me to progress in devotional service, something like that. This is years back, 20, 25 years ago. So I said, great, come, let's go. I took him, I sat down on a chair and I put both my feet up and I said, take all the dust that you want. He started laughing. No, Prabhu, what are you doing? I said, you asked for the dust of the lotus feet. Here, you think my feet are I'm a Vaishnav. You think I have lotus feet? Here, take all the dust that you want. He started laughing. It was a joke. And then many years later, Amarendra Prabhu in one of his classes said, the importance. You keep asking. In one Bhakti Vriksha in the early days, Jayadvaita Maharaj, after he finished his class, he has that orange color cloth bag and he has his things in that. So one devotee went to him and he said, he offered his obeisance and he says, "Oh Maharaj, please bless me and your family." So Maharaj looked down at him and he said, "Okay." He opened his bag, put his hand in, and he just started doing, "Here, take blessings, blessings, blessings." And Amarendra Prabhu in one of his classes said this, that when we seek blessings, we should be very specific what we ask for. So there are these phrases, "I'm the dust of your lotus feet." Very easy to say that, but actually to mean it, what it means to be the dust of someone's lotus feet is a very, very, very elevated position. So what he has taught us, what Prabhupada teaches us through this purport and through so many other lectures and classes and writings of his, is that we have a tendency to find faults in others. That's the nature of this material conditioning, right? But what you see is that we should try, make it a practice to see the good. So the moment something triggers about a ninda, just try to see what good that person is doing, and then Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur Maharaj's instruction, look within and find faults within ourselves. Hare Krishna. The other thing we can understand is knowledge itself is not enough. The twice born has Vedic knowledge, the Brahmana. Brahmana is not just the string. Brahmana is not just chanting Gayatri 3 times a day. Brahmana is not just someone who goes up and does deity worship. He is now, allowed, he's qualified to do deity worship. Brahmana not only has the knowledge but has that realization also. So, what happens is that when we have this knowledge, sometimes it can become a burden, and this burden can manifest itself in so many ways. Maya is very, very insidious, dear devotees. Maya can come in the form of mm, devotional service. We may think we are doing a devotional service, but actually it is just a pedestal to raise our ego even further higher. So we should be very, very careful all the time. We should be, introspecting ourselves. If you are doing kirtan, that desire of wanting to do kirtan, I have to do it rather than others. The last day of the wedding, uh, I had the great fortune to spend time with Shri Krishna Chaitanya Swami Maharaj. He's the ISKCON minister for the Ministry of Kirtan, and we were talking about Kirtan. And then we took me up to his room, and then we did a podcast. He has written a beautiful song for Avig and Radhika as their wedding present. And then he was showing me how he does this. He has also opened a studio, a recording studio in Pandharpur, state-of-the-art recording studio. And we were discussing about Kirtan. And he gave such a nice instruction about Kirtan. There are Kirtan which could be done in different modes. Kirtan in the mode of ignorance, Kirtan in the mode of passion, Kirtan in the mode of goodness. So we have to have Kirtan which is in the mode of goodness. We should try either as a person who is leading the Kirtan or a person who is listening to that Kirtan. Kirtan is not a function of music, melody. Kirtan is not a function of how beautifully it is done. Yes, it is nice. We always try to offer the best that we have. But when we are doing kirtan, and if we say that, oh, I can make all these tunes and ragas and all that, so people will get impressed, then that becomes a sense gratification. But kirtan, and there's another pastime, Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Maharaj would make his disciple who really did not have any singing talent. They would sing off key, off beat, but he would make him do the kirtan because he would sing from his heart with devotion. So then we did a podcast. Maharaj has this podcast, I think it's called Kirtan Unfiltered. And the whole thing about kirtan is to be done in a mood of humility, whether we are singing it. And humility says that if somebody else is having the opportunity to lead the kirtan, we shouldn't be the one saying that I want to do. Kirtan. I should lead Kirtan. I haven't done Kirtan for such a long time. It is now my turn to do Kirtan. So he says these are all indicators of the sense gratification. Always let the others, because that's the whole thing of principle of a bhakti, and that's what pleases Guru and Krishna. So again, coming back over here is we tend to judge people by the externals, either by the body color. Another pastime of Srila Prabhupada, when Bhakti Tir Swami Maharaj was new in the movement, he was one of the few black devotees, or maybe the only black devotee at that time, black-bodied devotee. Others were mainly white-bodied devotees, the Caucasian race. So they heard the lecture, You're Not the Body, You're the Soul, the basic philosophy of Krishna consciousness, but he felt kind of racism. So he went and complained to Srila Prabhupada. He said, Srila Prabhupada, the whole principle is you're not the body, you're the soul, but here I'm being treated differently just because I have a black color skin. So Prabhupada said, yes, they're treating you, this racism and all that nonsense is because of their ignorance. And you're feeling bad is because of your ignorance. You think that you're a black body. They think you're a black body. They're judging you on a bodily platform, and it's their ignorance. You are feeling bad because it is your ignorance. So we judge people on their clothes, their character. Oh, Prabhu didn't wear dhoti. Oh, his dhoti is crooked. Oh, his Vaishnav tilak he hasn't worn, it has come crooked, etc., etc. Lord Shiva wore ashes. What to speak about dhoti kurta and all these things. Shiva, the greatest Vaishnava. Of course, it doesn't mean it gives us a license to dress and do what we please, how we please, etc. There is a certain discipline which we need to follow. But the principle is we should not be judgmental. Hare Krishna. And always try to see the good. It's so difficult, easier said than done. Always try to see the good in others. And there is no person who doesn't have any good qualities. There's Think of the worst person, think of the person you hate the most. You will find if you look for it. And there is this example given of a bee and the flower. A bee, doesn't bother about the color of the flower. It doesn't bother whether there are thorns in it. All it does is it goes directly to the nectar. Whereas a fly will ignore all the beauty around the flower, and instead of the nectar, will go and sit on a sore wound, whichever is the pus oozing out, and it feeds on that. So we have a choice. Do we want to be a bee or do we want to be a fly like? And a devotee is someone who's like a bee, always looking for nectar. So any little devotion service, by devotional service, if I remember rightly, Prabhupada says everyone is a devotee. It's just a matter of time, something like that. So we sit here that, oh, we don't eat onion garlic, we don't eat meat. That person is eating onion garlic. Chi, this is it. I won't be served from him. We make all these judgments. If he serves me, I'll get his karma. Whatever it is. We may even refuse service from someone who wants to serve you. No, 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 some excuse that we'll make, all being judgmental. And we will have Shastra to back it. Yes, there are Shastras that, you should, from whom you accept um, cooked food, etc., etc., etc. But there is the higher principle. Is like Prabhupada, he saw that homeless man come with a toilet paper, something which he would never use in his life. Still, he appreciated it and he said, "Thank you very much." So, dear devotees, we have about 2-3 minutes. If anyone has a question or a realization would like to share, please ask. Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Hare Krishna. Very good. If nobody has any questions or a realization comment, we can bring the class to a close. Over to you, Madhupati Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Thank you very much, Amritam Prabhu. We would like to wish everybody a safe and Krishna conscious day ahead. And we like to offer our prayers to the Supreme Lord by chanting Hare Krishna,
Hare Krishna, Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna, Hare
Krishna
Hare,
Krishna, Hare Hare,
Hare
Hare
Rama,
Rama,
Hare
Hare
Rama,
Rama,
Rama
Ram
Rama,
Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare
Hare
Krishna, Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Hare,
Hare
Hare
Hare,
Rama, Hare
Hare Rama,
Rama,
Hare Rama,
Rama
Ram
Rama,
Rama,
Hare Hare,
Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna, Hare
Krishna
Hare,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Rama, Hare Rama,
Hare
Rama
Rama,
Rama,
Hare
Hare
Rama,
Hare,
Ram Rama, Hare Hare.
Jai Nrsimha, Jai Nrsimha, Jai Nrsimha,
Prahladesh.
Prahladesh, Jaya Padma Mukha Padma Bringam, Ugraveeram Mahavishnu Jalantam
Jagantam
Sarvatomukam,
Sarvatomukam, Narsingh,
Nrsimham Bhisham
Krishna
Bhadram
Bhadram,
Nityam Nityam Namamiham, Nrsimha Bhagwan Ki Jai,
की
Prahlad
जाए,
Maharaj Ki
की
Jai.
जाए.
Let's offer our humble obeisances to all the Samar Vaishnavas.
पंचकल्पतरुभ्यश्च
Vanchakalatarubhascha
कृपा
kripa
सिन्धुभवे
sindhuvaya
पतितानां
patitanam
पावने
pavane bhayo
वैष्णवे
Vaishnavebhyo
भयो
namo
नमो
namaha.
नमः.
Vaishnavinda ki
उनकी
jai.
जाए,
Granth Srimad Bhagavatam ki
भगवत की जाए,
Ila Prabhupada
आदि की
ki
जाए.
Gaur Premanande
हरि
Hari
हरि हरि बोल.
Hari Bol.
Thank you,
Thank
everybody.
you
Thank you,
everybody.
Prabhuji.
Hari Bol.
Wonderful class.
Hare
Thank you. Hare
Krishna.
Krishna.